This house was our dream: the gardens, the study, even the swimming pool. Even though I can't see John when I wake up in the morning, I can always feel him here with me. In swimming pool, all the colors are very warm, sunny, the pool and all that. In Love Crime, everything is so cold, and it's all inside skyscrapers. In Germany, the body is treated rather differently than in the UK or US. I grew up with a swimming pool in our garden and a sauna in our basement. I believe that God felt sorry for actors, so he created Hollywood to give them a place in the sun and a swimming pool. The price they had to pay was to surrender their talent. There's a Diebenkorn painting, Ocean Park No. 68, that is the color of a swimming pool and always reminds me of summers at the beach. Hollywood is loneliness beside the swimming pool. In film, if you've got to do a scene in a swimming pool, you do a scene in a swimming pool. If you've got to blow up a car, you blow up a car. In theater, you can't do that, and therefore, you have the opportunity to engage the audience's imagination in a way that's rich. We have a big garden, there's a swimming pool, and we keep chickens. I love them. I love getting up in the morning and collecting the eggs. I never saw film stars at home. We had no maid, no cook, no swimming pool. I vividly remember segregation, separate schools, sitting in the balcony at the movie theater, being barred from the public swimming pool. The wealth that was created by my investments wasn't put into a giant swimming pool as so many elected demagogues seem to imagine. Instead, it benefited our employees, their families, and our community at large. You know, I know a lot of lifeguards. Both my parents were lifeguards at a lake in El Paso, Texas. I was a lifeguard in a swimming pool in Portland, Oregon. And I have known and met and befriended a number of ocean-going lifeguards in California where I live. It's funny because I remember when I came to the US with Swimming Pool, the movie did well, and it was great box office for a French movie. But I remember I was a bit upset because all people talked to me about was the nudity. In the early 70s, I bought a dilapidated hotel in North Stoke for about £100,000 and spent the same amount again renovating it, putting in a guitar-shaped swimming pool, painting the bathrooms purple, and installing gold dolphin taps. My first ever job was when I was 14 or 15 in Washington, D.C., a job that I got through Marion Barry's Summer Youth Employment Program. It was working in the locker room of a public swimming pool, deep inside Anacostia in southeast D.C., about 5 to 10 minutes from my house. I have always wanted a swimming pool and never had one. Sydney has the world's best swimming pool. Walk through the Botanical Gardens and you come to the Andrew Boy Charlton Pool on Mrs. Macquarie's Road, with incredible views of Finger Wharf and the harbor. When I graduated college, I remember all I really wanted was to make enough money to have a swimming pool, because I love to swim, to grow my own fruit. I wanted to have a little plot where I could grow my own oranges and make enough money where I could to take 2 weeks off a year. I figured if I had that, it was game over. I quickly realized that it is difficult to get started when writing a novel. You have this dream of what you want to create, but it is like walking around a swimming pool and hesitating to jump in because the water is too cold. Success will be when I can have a real swimming pool instead of the $50 one I buy at Kmart every year. But I don't want to get robbed of any authenticity to try and make money. Mental fitness is obviously important to being an astronaut, but so is physical fitness. For example, spacewalks are extremely physically demanding. We train for them in a giant swimming pool and we wear this suit that weighs about 300 pounds. The reason we have the stars twinkle at night is because the light is being kind of blurred by the atmosphere around the Earth. That is why the Hubble Space Telescope is so good, because it is above the atmosphere. So it is kind of like looking at the sun from the bottom of a swimming pool, versus looking at the sun above the swimming pool. Swimming pool was a very important moment for me because the character was written for me. Within our culture, every school has a swimming pool. We lived on the coast. People swam in the surf. It's a very sporty nation, and at that particular time anyone who had an artistic bent was very much an outsider. So if you liked reading or ideas or playing the piano, then your dad viewed you as a sissy, basically. In China, we don't know about the swimming pool game, but we know about Marco Polo. I cannot lie on the beach or by a swimming pool. I think I'm too Nordic to like a lot of relentless sun. British swimming have created that environment where it is very friendly, and I think it is part of our sporting culture. Rainy Sunday, you go to the local swimming pool. Sure, I've felt racism. I think everybody has prejudice. When I was growing up, the dark Mexican kids weren't allowed in the public swimming pool in Dallas. My light-skinned friend got in, and he laughed at us. It didn't seem like a big deal, because we didn't know any different, so I never ran into anything that actually scarred me. Somebody said to me, but the Beatles were anti-materialistic. That's a huge myth. John and I literally used to sit down and say, now, let's write a swimming pool. There is no more reason to pay for private education than there is to pay for a private swimming pool for those who do not use public facilities. One of my lungs is half gone, and the other half, because I smoked for years, has a lesion. So I can't swim anymore and had the swimming pool covered over. Now it's what I call the dance pavilion, and so I and my friends sit out and put music on and watch people dance. When civilization takes a nosedive, how can you look away? You've got to be there. You've got to be at the bottom of the swimming pool taking notes. You've got to be a right grouch to hate holidays, but one thing I do hate is the old towel on the sun bed trick. It kills me that people get up at 5 in the morning and go down to the swimming pool and reserve their sun bed with a towel. Ray Bradbury has a vacation house in Palm Springs, California, in the desert at the base of the Santa Rosa Mountains. It's a Rat Pack-era affair, with a chrome and turquoise kitchen and a small swimming pool in back. I'm sure, ever since I was really young, that happiness is not a bottle of champagne and a girl and a limousine and a swimming pool. I thought of America as Natalie Wood and Bob Wagner sprawled on the edge of a Hollywood swimming pool biting into the same red apple. Somehow I kept my head above water. I relied on the discipline, character, and strength that I had started to develop as that little girl in her first swimming pool. I usually go to the swimming pool if I want to swim. As a kid, I dreamed of playing in a warm land with a swimming pool. I grew up in Northern California, where it was consistently in the hundreds in the summertime. My dad didn't think he should have to turn on the air conditioning when we had a swimming pool in our backyard. It was our built-in air conditioner. In LA you live in a big city, but you feel like you're in the countryside. For example, I can be at home in the swimming pool and be 5 minutes from everything. I think England has served me very well. I like living in London for the reasons I gave. I have absolutely no intentions of cutting those ties. There is absolutely no reason to do so. Certainly not, so that I can have a swimming pool and a palm tree. I have a fear of water, believe it or not. To put a wire 12 feet over a swimming pool frightens me. I don't like water. I was part of integrating the public swimming pool in the 1960s. A group of us decided one day we were going to go swimming. Nothing happened. No resistance. We just went and jumped in. I grew up watching Superman. As a child, when I first learned to dive into a swimming pool, I wasn't diving, I was flying, like Superman. I used to dream of rescuing a girl I had a crush on from a playground bully. I was swimming in my swimming pool when The Secret Lovers popped entire into my head. I got out, dried off, went upstairs, and finished the book in about 50 days. The first album, For Better or For Worse, was done over from the ages of 17 to 22, with a couple of different producers. Some of it was recorded in an old swimming pool, some of it was recorded in a synagogue, it kind of was all over the place. Both the Velodrome and the Commonwealth swimming pool are open to the public and are frequently used by local schools and the local community. Over the last 6 years young people have been inspired to take up swimming and cycling more seriously. Some of them are now coming through as Olympic champions or hopefuls. Success is not 2 cars or a swimming pool. It's the approval of your peers. When I was in my 20s, I thought that being known for swimming pool was kind of a burden. Like, okay, everyone thinks I am this tanned bimbo, and I was having problems coping with that image. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.